So, the video you just watched, I filmed in July of 2024. That was where this line is right here, July 2024. You look down here, see July 2024. That is when we made that video. Now, a couple things have happened since then. One, I have had a major brain surgery. You might have caught in some other videos. Previously, I was functioning with a non-cancerous tumor about the size of my thumb. It had to be removed, emergency surgery, back in May 2025. I'm about 6 months in on my recovery. The good news is, prior to that, I had developed this system, which is very simple. And also, my critical thinking is not altered. I do have some delays in my thought patterns, and also I have facial paralysis on one side of my face, which makes my speech very difficult. So I'm going to do my best here. Bear with me, because I want you to see this, and I also want to give you some new information. So here we were, July. Now, if you look at the last video, just above this video, on our getvmax.com/mentoring page. So if you're watching this video on YouTube and you don't know exactly which video I'm referring to, the video that I'm referring to is a video I recorded in July of 2024. It's currently November 2nd of 2025. So, I like to do these follow-ups. I think that what they do is they instill confidence in the functionality of the system despite the technological changes. AI is the big rage right now. It's the threat. And, we'll use some of our content, probably more likely on LinkedIn and Facebook. We will use AI to analyze whether the markets are still a viable financial solution for your everyday retail trader. So I'll give you a little hint. The answer is yes, if you have the right perspective. So let's look here, right here, July. I said in the last video that probably we were at an all-time high. We're up here at the top, right here, 57. I said we're probably looking at a down. We're looking for a pullback, right? Keep your eyes open for 52. I said. All right, here. The very next month, this is August 2024. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. There, right here, this is that low, 51.21. So 52 wasn't low enough. Listen, if you're new to this market, if you're new to this game, then you need someone who's been paying attention. I'm going on 13 hard, solid, 100% focused years. The markets have been an interest of mine since the mid-'80s, when I realized, as the child from a broken family, on food stamps, living in low-income housing, with an absent father who was a drug addict and alcoholic, with an abusive mother, I realized that the only color that mattered was green, and that these guys in the markets had figured that out, and I wanted a piece of it. That is how we got where we are today. Now listen, here is that drawdown, then we went back up. Now we got up in here in March, and profit taking. That's what this is called, right? It's not a collapse. It's not a war. It's not a natural disaster. It's profit taking. Don't get that confused. Your MSNBCs and your Bloombergs are going to try to tell you, oh, weakness this, weakness that, No, profit taking. I bought here, it went up here, I sold it off, I took my profit, I moved it into something else. Maybe I moved it into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has kept on going, right? Now, here we go again. Value area. We can buy down here. We can buy it here, and then run the price up through news, propaganda, and actually dividends, performance up here. So now let's do this. All right, look, this down here, the market whisperer is giving us an indication that we are oversold. Now let's go to a quarterly chart. Give me a second here. Here we go. 3 months quarterly chart. Move this out here so you can see it. vMAX is telling us down here on our sentiment indicator, we already topped out. The thing about overbought and oversold is, like I've said many times before, they're unreliable. You can't have extensions. But now here, look at this. We had overbought, and then we had sell-off, profit taking, right, in that quarter, down into the 48. Okay, so on the quarterly chart, we're looking at the pattern maintains, right? It doesn't matter if it's a quarterly. It doesn't matter if it's an hourly. I like to trade down on the 30-second chart. Okay, I've traded on a 10-second chart, and I've been profitable. But the 30-second chart seems to be sufficient. We'll talk about that more. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the vMAX. What Reed is giving us. So the likelihood of this slope reaching a higher high than this previous market sentiment is unlikely, right? If you look at that trajectory is not, it's closer to horizontal than it is to vertical. That's a good interpretation, right? That's a good read. So we're probably reaching another profit-taking season. All right. Now, listen. That's the way capitalism works. So now your job is to work capitalism to your benefit and to the benefit of those around you. Now, listen. What I'm going to do now, there are some of you who will take advantage of the virtual mentoring that is available. And then there's some of you who are going to say, that's not enough, Liam, I want more. So I have more for you. What I have is the opportunity for live 2-day sessions in person in the Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Columbus, Ohio, or Cleveland, Ohio areas, which are near where I reside, so that we can meet up. We take a couple days, grab a couple lunches, sit down, a small group of us, and we'll talk about it. We'll go through charts, we'll go through videos, you can ask whatever question comes up right then and there, and then you can have, listen, a lot of people have forgotten in this day and age that one-on-one meetings are 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more valuable than a Zoom meeting. Now, if a Zoom meeting is what you need in the interim in between, that's great, and I make those available. But I have experienced, when I go to a conference, that conference is better than the Zoom, right? I still can recall the conversations that were off camera. I still have my notes. I still have the comparisons that I've made to situations locked away. So I'm going to make those available to you. All right? The gems, the golden gems that come up in a face-to-face meeting. So your day one, you dinner, day two, you're like, hey, yesterday or last night you said XYZ. I was wondering how can I, enhance that? How can I maximize that? So we're going to start doing those 2-day in-person sessions. Okay, so down below you can reach out and we'll let you know when and how, right? Okay. Now, bonus. There are opportunities. Margin power trading is a piece of the Praetorian capital systems. I've got 501c3 in the works. We just finalized our for-profit technology relationship and investor relationship with the prop fund. We're going to expand onto that because that 15-year-old who saw the markets as a solution is now a 56-year-old who knows the markets are still a solution and wants to give back, give hope to another 15-year-old who looks around and says, yep, I thought I was going to drive Uber, and then they came out with self-driving Ubers. So I don't even have that option anymore. Okay, so if you want to be part of a bigger solution, and don't think that you're not part of the bigger problem, no matter how insulated you are, if enough people suffer, we're all going to suffer. So if you want to, you want to take your energy and be part of this resistance movement against the AI taking over, against hope being decimated, and against people thinking, listen, I have a terrible issue with, pet peeve of mine is I cannot stand a person who is just like, I'm not going to do anything. I have worked, whether it be physically or mentally, to improve myself every single day of my life. But I can't blame somebody 20 years my junior, 30 years my junior, 10 years my junior, 10 years my senior. I can't blame them for looking around and saying, why bother? What's the point? So if you want to become part of something and you want, because listen, I have partnership opportunities that I'm not going to share with someone over the internet. I will share it with someone who meets with me face to face. They've taken time to invest in themselves, and they've taken time to invest in what we're trying to do here. So that's the bonus. If you come to a live session, you're going to find out how to get more involved than the people who are only in the virtual mentoring, and way more involved than anyone who hasn't done any mentoring at all. So virtual mentoring, I'm going to give you what I can give you virtually, and you will benefit from that. But it'll take you a lot longer to pay attention to have the focus than it will take you if you do live, right? If you do a face-to-face. So I hope to meet you soon. Thank you for your time.